Hello everyone and welcome to maybe my most lazy video. I've made a tier list ranking the top rated and downloaded mods of the Nexus. That includes the first 15 each pages and I'm going to rank them. This was a lazy idea but it turned out to be super fun in the process. I'm going to rank mods that completely change Skyrim to the point when you cannot play Skyrim without them. Have in mind, if a mod causes crashes or gives you bad performance, it is not going to make it on the top tier. I am not going to rank cognitive type of mods like Pandora engine or physics or body mod. I am not going to rank patches for fixing things like the unofficial Skyrim. I will also suggest replacements for a bunch of mods. So with that being said, like the video, subscribe, let me know what you think. This is 50 with 60 mods I rank, and as someone who has been modding and playing Skyrim for over 10 years, I'm gonna give you my idea why I rank everything the way I do. Let's start with the alternate start mode. This mod lets you start a new playthrough super fast without having to go through the intro. I mostly use this when I create my mod list as a modding tool to test my mods and what works and what doesn't. So I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to put this. Maybe I'm a little bit too harsh, but I'm going to put it on mid. I will give you the best alternative, which is kind of a pun on the name, the alternative perspective, which does what alternate start does, but way better in more detail. And this mod gives you the option to play as a random person and not as a Dragonborn, which means you would never chase dragons, you will never be the almighty Dragonborn, and you will never see Helgen being destroyed. It is an amazing role-playing mod that adds so much to the game. I am going to put it on the exceptional, which is a mod that you should have on your mod list. Next we have the immersive AI overhaul. Now we don't have that many AI overhauls, most of them are extremely old and lacking when it comes to updates, so have in mind all of those require a bunch of million patches. But what this mod does, it grabs the already well written and scripted NPCs in Skyrim and it gives them different routes, different things to do. I will put this mod all the way back on the top S tier, but because we don't have that many updates, I'm going to put this above the alternative perspective. Next we have realistic water 2, and I've said I'm not going to include graphical type of mods, but the idea is that realistic water 2, it's not only about the water, but it changes a bunch of things. It's one of the most highly downloaded mods, and in my opinion, I'm just going to put this on good. It is very outdated, and since everybody's using ENBs, there is better options for that, which is why I've put an extra, the water for ENB, which does what water 2 does, but better in every single way, and I'm going to put it on great. Next we have Ordinator, and Ordinator, guys, is one of those mods that completely changes how you play Skyrim. It will give you hundreds of new perks, which will enhance your gameplay, and it will give you so much more replayability. This mod requires patches and all of that, but for the most part it is fun to use. I think this is going to be the first S mod on this list. Next we have the Wet and Cold, which does exactly what the mod implies. It gives you visual effects when your character is cold or wet. You will see your character's breath in the cold weather, which is why most people use this. This mod sounds amazing and great. The problem is it is horrible when it comes to performance. It takes so many scripts and there are better solutions. If you're someone who likes one or the two things this mod does, I can see you ranking this way above, but when it comes to bad performance and the fact that we are never going to get any updates, how poorly this mod runs, I'm going to put it on disappointing, because this could be an S tier mod with few updates, but this is what happens, guys, when Bethesda screws the modders, creates the creation club and all of that. People will move away and they will stop working on mods. Don't worry, because I have you covered. We have the rush effect, which is essentially a better version of Wet and Cold. It does pretty much everything aside few features. Wet and Cold adds backpacks to some NPCs, it adds the breathing effect. Rush doesn't do those, but it gives you the same visuals and it also runs amazing. I'm going to put it around Water 2 and I think above. It does change and enhances how the game runs. Now speaking of amazing mods, we have Footprint. Footprints, guys, if any game comes in 2025, it needs to have this. Essentially, with footprints, your characters are leaving footprints and the enemy characters leave footprints whenever they run. And this is an S tier, it's amazing, you cannot play Skyrim without this. I am playing Kenshi right now and we don't have footprints in Kenshi, can you believe that? But yeah, this is an S tier. I think I'm putting this below Ordinator because Ordinator you can download it and play hundreds of hours. We have the diverse dragon collection and this is going to give you dozens of new dragon appearances. I'm going to put it on the bottom here, and the reason is it's kinda weird when it comes to performance and it's known to crash many mod lists because of how much it does to the dragons. I personally like to use other mods that do the same thing that are much more light, but this mod again is the most downloaded and with few patches you can have it running. We have the enhanced blood textures and this mod everybody has been using it until Sanguine came out. Enhanced blood faced the exact same problems with wet and cold, which is why I am going to put it there. It is horrible when it comes to performance. It's very problematic, it requires hundreds of patches and it's a mod that we don't need to use it because you can replace it with this one, which is Sanguine. Sanguine is the better blood overhaul and will also add wounds on the body. So essentially it does so much more, it runs so much more better. This is easily an S tier mod, this is amazing. This is where wet and cold or enhanced blood will be if they were getting more updates, just to make sure you guys follow how I rank things in this list. Then we have the immersive patrols and this goes straight to the terrible, and that's because this is going to break your mod list every single time. You should never use this. I don't want to be mean to the person who made this, but the way Bethesda games work is that they cannot handle new added NPCs, especially when a mod is that old and that outdated. That's why immersive patrols go on terrible. If you see any mod going on the terrible list, never add it. Next we have Apocalypse Magic, which is going to add hundreds of new effects. When it comes to magic, it is going to give you new spells, add so much more to the magic of the game. And a mod that does this better, in my fair opinion, you are welcome to disagree, is Mysticism, because it adds spells similar to Oblivion and Morrowind, essentially from the Elder Scrolls universe. Apocalypse doesn't exactly do that, so when it comes to ranking this, I think it goes above the alternative perspective. An overall amazing mod to have. Then we have Clocks of Skyrim, which it is going to add clocks to a bunch of NPCs. And Skyrim, when you think about it, it's a place where it's covered with winter. The Nords of Skyrim don't know how the sun looks like, so it makes sense everybody would be using clocks, but we never got clocks in the base game. This mod adds a lot when it comes to the immersion of the game, and this is going to go on the top of the grade. It is not something that will change everything, but it's a mod I'm always going to have in my mod list. And when you put physics on those clocks, it is so much more better. We have the immersive weapons, which is going to add hundreds of new weapons. And what I love about this mod is that it doesn't change the enemies or add new creatures or all of that. It cleverly distributes weapons to make the encounters feel different. I will put this on the S tier, but again, because we're getting spears that use the vanilla 200 animation, because we're getting rapiers that use the 100 sword animations, it's kinda weird when it comes to the immersion of the game, so I will put this on the bottom. And let's actually get done with the immersive series. We have next the immersive creatures. The immersive creatures is going to add hundreds of new enemies, they will populate areas, it does so much. If you know what I've said about immersive patrols, this goes all the way to the bottom. And the problem is that, first of all, enhanced creatures doesn't get any updates for the past like what, over 7 years. It's extremely buggy, it crashes the game, it adds so many NPCs, it changes the creatures. This is a mod you need to avoid. This is a mod that you don't need to have on your lot order. And then we have the immersive armors, a very interesting way to make Skyrim feel better. Unlike the immersive weapons, the armors can also have their own physics. If you apply patches, they add so much more and they fit better into the game. I think it's on the exceptional type of mods and it goes way above. In my opinion, I'm going to put this before the immersive AI overhaul because it changes the game so much. I cannot play Skyrim without immersive armors. We have the cutting room floor, which is going to add a bunch of new removed content from the vanilla game. All of that feels super nice and it fits into the game. I think I'm going to put it on the top of the exceptional. It's definitely not an S-tier mod to me. Next we have a bunch of lighting type of mods. We have the enhanced lights, a mod I absolutely love to have because you can use enhanced lights, put Rudy ENB and create some amazing effects. And to this day enhanced lights, it's a mod that goes on the top when it comes to great mods. Then we have looks, which does exactly the same, but the difference is that it adds way much more intense details to specific areas. It's like enhanced lights but way more heavy for your PC. If your PC can handle it, is great. I'm going to put this on the exceptional. It gets updates, it has so many patches, and the only reason why again I'm not putting this higher is because many of you don't have the best rigs. Many of you don't like using patches and many of you like simplicity. Overall, looks goes to the exceptional because it is way better than enhanced lights. I like to use enhanced lights sometimes myself. Then we have the GK Skyrim series, and I didn't want to put all of the 80 different mods of his. Essentially those are city and town overhauls. I used to love this mod, but over the years I found better ways. If you want a nice alternative when it comes to cities and towns, I would recommend a spaghetti overhaul, but given how poorly optimized those are and how much frames are going to cost you, I'm not putting this on the exceptional because it is very heavy and I'm going to put it on the top of good. I think it adds way too much. It makes many of the places of Skyrim feel very different and sometimes I prefer the vanilla look. Maybe I'm a purist, I don't know, but when it comes to a replacement that I'm using, which is the spaghetti overhaul, it keeps everything vanilla but it only adds few flags here and there or some very minor details. It is not going to cost you performance, it is going to enhance all of Skyrim, and I think this goes. I think I'm going to change this a bit. I'm going to put the immersive AI overhaul on the top because of how good it is, and I'm going to do something like this and readjust those. Then we have Legacy of the Dragonborn. I'm gonna tell you a secret. I was not a fan of this the first few years. I know, right? Before you put me on a cross. This mod, when it first came out, it was so broken, it had so many problems. This gets the same attention as Lux does. What Legacy of the Dragonborn is, it's a way to dynamically enable achievements into the game. It gives you your own museum in Solitude, which is going to have NPCs go around, create new dialogues, will add new quests, a way for you to collect gear. This is an example of, I think, the best mod we have. And I'm a believer after trying this out. This mod alone, if you're playing on console, can you even put Legacy of the Dragonborn on console? I have no idea, you let me know. If I was playing either on console or PC and I will only select one mode, it will be Legacy of the Dragonborn because of how much it does, how much it changes Skyrim. If the Elder Scrolls 6 doesn't have something similar to this, I'm gonna be so mad about it. Then we have Inigo, which is a follower, honestly the best follower mod we have, and I think I'm going to put this second on the top because of how good it is. Inigo has to be the best follower ever created on Nexus, and even the almighty, our god and savior Todd Howard has addressed this Khajiit. And many of you tell me I sound like a Khajiit, so you know what, let's put this very high. This is an amazing mod to have, maybe one of the best. Then we have the True Storms, which is going to create storms, lighting and all of that in Skyrim. I'm going to put this on great. I don't think it's better than Clocks of Skyrim. I'm going to put it on the bottom of great. Very nice little mod. Then we have Relighting Skyrim, which in case you don't know, this is another lighting overhaul, but it turns everything super dark. If you like having dark settings, you can use this. I was using this for a very long time, but I don't like to use it right now. I'm going to put it on mid because I don't like it this much. It turns everything super dark, it doesn't add much color. Then we have Imperious Races, which is going to do something I thought we always needed in Skyrim. It is going to grab every single race and it's going to give them different traits, skills, abilities, all of that. It is going to make the choice of making your character to actually matter. And I think this goes on the S tier because I cannot play Skyrim without this mod, and I'm going to rank it all the way below Sanguine. And oh my god, we have so many of those to go through. This is gonna be such a long video. Then we have, yeah, I mean, this is more of a joke. This is Wenches of Skyrim, which adds thirsty women in every inn. This is not very lore friendly. I know some of you guys have played Witcher and you like this idea. I don't know how this got so many millions of downloads. I guess I know how, it's because people got horny. But I'm going to put this on the very bottom. I mean, I don't know what, this is whatever, honestly. This is called again Wenches of Skyrim, that, yeah, it does exactly that. Then we have the true directional movement, and this mod changes completely how the movement works. It makes your character able to go on 360. It also adds so many features. It adds dynamic movement, all of that. This is a mod that changes Skyrim so much to the point where I'm going to put this below Legacy of the Dragonborn. This is such a great mod. I don't have Precision on this list. For those who are familiar, Precision is a combat mod that changes everything. If I had Precision, it would go above Legacy of the Dragonborn because of how good of a mod it is. We have the convenient horses, which adds so many features to horses, but it also adds many crashes into your game. This is a horribly optimized mod. It's abandoned, it's really bad, and I'm going to put this on the bottom of this list. It's even worse than immersive patrols. That's how broken this mod is. Avoid it at all costs. We have Ars Metallica next, which is going to add enhancing options when it comes to smithing and all of that. This is an amazing mod. It adds so much into the game, and I think it's something that completely adds into the experience. Now, Ars Metallica is not that crazy, but it's nice to have. I'm going to put it on the top of great tier. We have Lanterns of Skyrim, which is the first version. You don't really need Lanterns of Skyrim because we've got Lanterns of Skyrim 2, so I'm not going to rank Lanterns of Skyrim 1. Instead, we're getting the better version, which adds lanterns everywhere in Skyrim. I think this is a great mod. It adds a lot into the game. I'm going to put it second on the great, and you know what, maybe below enhanced lights even, maybe below the clocks. I don't know, I'm very split between those because Skyrim and clocks should go together, so I'm gonna leave it right here. We have the Serana dialogue overhaul, and yeah, this mod essentially turns Serana into Inigo by giving her so many choices. This is a mod that is going to completely change Serana. I still prefer Inigo over Serana overhaul or the Serana add-on, but I'm going to put it over here because it gives you again so many choices when it comes to that. It enhances your gameplay. You can play Skyrim 100 times with this mod. With Serana, and you will have so many choices. You will always find something new. We have Summaries, which adds a bunch of new enchantment effects when it comes to the game, and absolutely must mod that adds gameplay. I don't think this is an S tier, but it is an exceptional type of mod, and it goes above Apocalypse Magic in my opinion. I'm going to rearrange that and put the spaghetti overhauls below the alternative perspective. We have Wildcat Combat, which is a nice combat mod that adds powering into the game, and it also adds runes. It's a fantastic combat mod, but nothing too crazy. There are so many better combat overhauls out there, but for what it does, and I'm going to put it on the top of great when it comes to combat. If you want something better, here is Blade and Blunt, which does what Wildcat does but 10 times more, and it's an S tier mod. It should be way higher than Legacy of the Dragonborn, but I don't think people understand how great Blade and Blunt is. If you want a combat overhaul, replace Wildcat with Blade and Blunt. Blade and Blunt still adds injury, so it does exactly what Wildcat does, but maybe you don't like to use Blade and Blunt because of how many things it alters, which is again makes Wildcat a nice alternative to have. And then we have A Matter of Time, which when I first saw this mod I thought the exact same thing I'm saying today. I think this is a mid mod. It's above the Wenches of Skyrim, of course, and above Relighting Skyrim. Nah, maybe not. People use this as a modding tool to make other mods, but overall I don't see why you should use this. It's a very unnecessary mod. We have the Forgotten City, which is a quest overhaul, and I think this has to be one of the the best quests we've got when it comes to Skyrim, and I'm going to put it second to Legacy of the Dragonborn. In case you haven't played, I'm not going to spoil it too much, but you find this forgotten dwarven city and you're able to control time and go back, and you have multiple endings. If you're someone who likes Vigilant or good mods, or you like playing Elder Scrolls game, this fits the mark, and it has to be the best quest we've got, aside from one that I'm going to rank higher. Most of you know which one I'm referring to, but the Forgotten City is an amazing mod. If you haven't tried it, try it out. It is going to change your game and you will always want to have this in your lot order. Next we have Frostfall, and Frostfall I'm on a very weird position because I haven't used Frostfall over the past 5 or 6 years because I've been using Sunhelm and the Creation Club survival mode. Frostfall used to be on the top tier, but because I haven't used it for such a long time, I'm going to put it, haven't tried it or don't remember how it is. If Frostfall is how it used to be way back, and if it still gets updates, it definitely goes on the S tier, but I'm going to put it on its own rank of the mods that I don't really know about. Then we have Obese, which is a mod that was super popular by adding hundreds of new enemies, bandits and all of that, which goes straight up to the terrible, because it is going to break your game more times combined with all of the other 3 mods we have on the terrible. Again, no offense to the mod author, but Bethesda games cannot handle this. Then we have Joy of Perspective, which gives you first person camera. I mean, this is extremely outdated, it's problematic. I'm going to put it below OBS. What you need to use is improved camera, which changes Skyrim, and it's a top tier mod to have. You can even see your own poops when you play as a female character, imagine that. Then we have the Andromeda, which is going to grab all of the ritual stones and it's going to enhance them and overhaul them. The problem with this is that it adds some weird spells that break the game, which is why I'm not putting this very high, but I'm going to put it on the good list on the bottom just because of that. To this day we don't really have a good overhaul when it comes to ritual stones. That's very minimalist as far as I'm aware, but because of how broken Andromeda is and how some of the effects are going to kinda take away from your experience, I'm going to put this on the bottom of good. Then we have the Band Roller, which lets you craft your own bags. It's an amazing mod, everybody loves this. I'm going to put this below Ars Metallica because this is such a great mod. And you know what? Yeah, that should be better. But Band Roller again, it goes second on the great mods because I love what this mod does and I wish we had this on the base game. We have the Cathedral Weathers and Seasons. There is a bunch of weather overhauls. Cathedral Overhaul is nice because you can use it by adding ENPs, giving you amazing visuals, and given how much of a good performance this adds combined with ENPs, this has to be one of my most favorite weather mods, and it goes all the way up to the S tier mods. It overhauls the weather, it adds so many new effects, it completely changes how the weather, the world feels like. Let me put it that way, it's very similar to Immersive Cities, and we're gonna leave it here on the S tier. Then we have TK Dodge, and TK Dodge essentially lets you dodge by pressing a keybind. You guys are going to hate me about this, it's disappointing because the Elder Scrolls games are not meant to be played like Souls-like games. And actually, let's put the immersive wenches down. TK Dodge is a mod that when you're going to install it and you're going to make the combat to play like a Souls-like game, it completely makes Skyrim not feel like Skyrim and it takes away from the game and essentially it degrades the game. But I guess I'm wrong because many people love to use this one, but I am putting this on disappoint. Next we have interesting NPCs. It's kinda sad to say because this mod should go on the S tier because of how good of a mod it is. Essentially it's going to add hundreds of new NPCs with dozens of new quests, thousands of new lines. It builds up to the Elder Scrolls lore, and you might say, Kavou, this will go on S tier. Well, you're right, but the problem is it crashes games so much, so sadly, as much of amazing mod it is and so much potential that it has, I'm going to put it on just good mods. Everything that's on good and below is mods that I would rather not use, and I guess I am putting Rush a little bit above because this is a mod I will use. We have Deadly Spell Impacts, and this was a mod I didn't use for a very long time because it was causing some issues, but we've got some patches, and essentially this is going to add impacts into your spells. I think this is an amazing mod, it gives so much and it goes on the great Tierlist and on the top even, because it feels so much more immersive when you can see the impacts of your spells, and the only reason I'm not putting this way higher is because of the performance and the issues it causes, but you can fix those with few patches. Then we have the enhanced character edit. I mean, this goes on disappointing. This lets you have many more choices when it comes to the sliders of creating a character. You want to replace this with race menu, which is a must mod to have, and it's kinda cheating putting this on top tier, but I guess it kinda is because it gives you so many choices when it comes to your characters. I'm going to put it below lags because yes, it's an important mod to have, but I don't usually spend too much time making my character. It hasn't got many updates and it kinda has issues with some versions of Skyrim, but overall it's an amazing mod. Next we have the clothing expansion, which is going to add a bunch of different clothes. This is a mod that it's great for what it does, so I always love mods like those, and compared to immersive armors we don't get that much variation when it comes to clothes. I'm going to put this below the deadly spell impacts. Next we have the winter fade, which adds fades into the game. I've used this mod before for a little brief time and it was really nice, but I found it kinda too weird. To be honest with you, I haven't used this mod for over 5 years, so I have no idea how good it is. I'm putting it down there on the mods that I haven't tried for a very long time. So there goes that. We have the improved dual sheath, which finally adds dual sheath into the game. This is gonna go on the top tier because it's something that we should be able to do. You can now dual wield and you can see both of your weapons go to your hips or your back. It is such an amazing mod for what it does, and it goes on the top of S tier mods. We have the smooth cam that does something similar, smoothens the camera when it comes to Skyrim, way more modern and better. I don't think this is so much of a must mod to have, but it's exceptional, and I'm going to put it below race menu. And you know what, let's put it like this. I'm going to move diverse dragons above the immersive weapon. Then we have the archery overhaul, which is a mod that many people are using for archery. Completely changes the animations, the combat, the speed and all of that. I think this breaks the game completely. It makes bow shoot super fast, it breaks the attack speed and cause issues. I'm going to put this on the mid and second below alternative start. I would recommend you not to use this because it breaks Skyrim's combat. Instead, add a different archery animation and leave it vanilla. We have the improved closed helmets, which adds so much more realism when it comes to Skyrim. I think this goes below. I don't know if I should put this above the clocks of Skyrim, but I like the helmets being open way more than having clock on the great tier on the top 5. Then we have Vigilant, which this is the best quest mod ever made in my opinion, better than Forgotten City, better than anything we've got. This goes all the way up here, and I should put this above Legacy of the Dragonborn. I'm going to put it second because some of the things it has, you can say they are not lore friendly, like killing children and, you know, having some exorcism and all of that, or how the scaling works. Overall, this mod is going to give you a completely different talent tree with different perks. It's going to let travel to the plains of Daedra and fight Daedric princes. It is so badass. It grabs the vigilance of standards and it's just, oh my god, this is the best quest mod ever made. If you haven't played Vigilant, go and download this. You should replay Skyrim just for this alone. Then we have Lucian, which is a follower that has thousands of lines, and in my opinion, I don't think this goes on the S tier. Maybe I'm biased. I find the quirky nature of Lucian a little bit too generic. I love the author and what he's doing, of course, but I don't think it can compete with Inigo and Serana Overhaul. I think it goes below the alternate perspective. And next we have Falskar, which is one of the most downloaded new areas or quest type of mod. This, have in mind, came way early and it added so much into Skyrim, but it's kinda dated now. But I don't know where I should put this. I guess I am putting watching this haven't tried, because last time I've played these guys, I was a young man, right? I don't remember this mod exactly. I haven't explored all of it, I cannot talk about it, I think it goes around here, so I'm sorry for that. Let me know when it comes to Frostfall, Valskyrim and Winter Sun or Fates of Skyrim, how those mods are doing, because I'm completely clueless. That being said, that is my tier list of mods. If you're someone new to Skyrim and you are watching this because you are thinking of mods to add to your game, just look everything I've talked about when it comes to the top tier, the exceptional and the great, anything from good all the way below. I wouldn't recommend them unless you know what you're doing. Thank you for watching this super lazy, super long video, and if this video somehow gets more likes than it should, I'm gonna make part 2 and we're going to rank the next 60 more highly rated mods. This is a new idea, so again, thank you for watching. That was me, Kavou, and until next time, see you guys. I'm gonna go play some Kenshi because I have some slaves to sell. And until next time, happy modding.